All right, start the lesson. I do want to give all praise and all glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash, the one of the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us his truth. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim that's pushing the truth and our truth and sincerity on the four corners of everything that leads to our Shalom. Okay, I'm the brother Yara from the Great Millstone Miami Camp. I come back to the spirit power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai to make another lesson. Okay, in this lesson, I'll be going into the first and the second death. Okay, the first death was the flood that we read about in Genesis. Okay, that first flood, the Lord flooded the whole earth due to the wickedness that was taking part, on the face of the earth. Scripture say that, the Lord repented that He made man. Okay, due to the exceeding wickedness that was taking place. Okay, so the Lord told Noah to prophesy, and to tell the people to repent because he was going to send a flood, which He did. Okay, you can read about that flood in Genesis, and also you can see that flood. You can just do your a quick Google search, and you would see that the flood happened, and this is something that was true. Okay, this is not like something that was just a myth or anything like that. That the scriptures talk about a mass flooding. Okay, and it happened, man. Okay, you can Google search it. It's proven that the flood happened. All right, within that flood, that happened. All right, now the Lord is going to judge the earth with fire. Okay, the Lord has the first judgment, the first death was the flood. Okay, and the second death is by fire. Okay, the scripture talk about how just as Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, same shall be America. Okay, and Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by what? By fire. All right, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire, and America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire. Okay, these are things that are prophesied in the scriptures that are going to happen. Okay, first death was the flood. The second death is going to be nuclear destruction, destroying America. All right, and I got Genesis chapter 6, verse 17. It says, and behold, even I do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, where is a breath of life. Okay, from under the heavens, everything that is in the earth shall die. Okay, so the Lord, the Lord is saying that He's going to send a mass flood. Okay, and within the flood, it was raining. Okay, it was raining continually, and as well as the water came up from the earth. Okay, and that's how the continents really split. If you really think about it, because of the flood, the water came out of the earth and split these continents. That's why when you look at a map, it looks like a big old jigsaw puzzle that everything's supposed to fit together. Okay, all right, but that's the Lord telling you that, hey, you know, He about to flood the earth due to the wickedness, man. All right, a lot of people died in the flood. In the flood. All right, and the two, the two is showing you how the Lord called two in itself. The two worst ways to die is by drowning and by being burnt alive, and that's how the Lord's gonna kill you niggas, man. He already killed some of you niggas, by the flood, and then He's gonna kill some of you niggas by burning to death, you know, and being starved to death too. But that's gonna happen as well. All right, the Lord's gonna, the Lord's gonna make it to where you niggas are gonna burn to death, and that is a scary death, man. Okay, being burned and being and drowning, man. Because when you're drowning, all right, you have, you're gasping for air, but there is no air. All right, so the Lord had it to where so that's why Scripture say it is a fearful thing to fall into the living power, into the hand of the living power, and which it is. Okay, you want to play around with your how about Shema Shai, and then when judgment comes, that's when you want to try to seek the Lord. No, the word don't work like that. Okay, y'all want to procrastinate and shit. And then when all hell break loose, that's when y'all want to seek the Lord or why God. Okay, and it don't work like that. Seeing that now too, that the Lord about to judge his face by fire, and still you niggas still don't want to hearken, man. That's why when y'all starving to death, and y'all gonna starve to death, and and those that do find something, y'all gonna be burned to death. Okay, because y'all ain't want to hearken to the y'all ain't want to hearken to the words of the Lord. Y'all want to be continually wicked. Okay, then that's gonna be the that's gonna be the second death for you niggas, man. Okay, y'all niggas gonna y'all niggas gonna get burnt alive. All right, that's what the Lord said is gonna happen. This is Second Peter 3 and verse 6. It says, "Whereby the world that was being overflowed with water perished." Okay, talking about the flood. All right, verse 7. "But the heavens and the earth, which are now kept, Slakia, now, Slakia, but the heavens and earth, which are now kept by the same word, are kept in store, reserved to fire unto the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men." Okay, so so now scriptures tell you that now that the first death happened, the flood happened. Okay, now the word is still present. The Lord don't change. All right, now this shit about to get burned up. Okay, why? Because of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. One, the Lord is judging the earth, due to the wickedness, of the so-called white man. Okay, and and the two-thirds that's gonna be burnt up, man. All right, the Lord said that He's gonna judge His place. It will behoove you because we all heard about the flood. When it was coming up, or heard about the flood. Or heard about the damage that it did. It will behoove you to serve this, serve this, to seek the Lord. Okay, because that is a scary thing, man. To drown to death. People may say, "Oh, why didn't you have a boat?" Even if you had a boat, you know, it's raining from the top and water coming from the bottom. If you was not in that ark, you was doomed. Okay, you would just have to take it, man. You gonna have to just, you know, accept your fate, and that's what a lot of these niggas gonna do too. Y'all gonna accept your fate. Soon as y'all see those nukes come, y'all see the men of the Lord getting beamed up in those chariots. That's when y'all gonna know, that y'all fucked up. Okay, and that's the characteristics of Jake. Jake is the biggest procrastinator, so they're gonna wait. All right, they're gonna wait until the last minute to try to seek the Lord. But you can't be, you can't procrastinate with Yahweh Shimon Shai. Okay, the Lord wants you, the Lord wants you to be about His business now. Okay, now when all hell breaking loose, and that's when you're trying to seek the event of the Lord, it don't work like that. Lord not on your timing, man. All right, and this is Isaiah 66 verse 15, and it says, "For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire." Okay, and how is He going to come with that fire? Fire from the chariots, and as well as those ICBMs, man. Intercontinental ballistic missile that the Lord had these scientists make. Okay, that's how the Lord is going to judge this place. All right? It says in His chariots, like a whirlwind, to render His anger with fury and rebuke with flames of fire. And that's right, man. The Lord is going to judge this place, with fire and His chariots. And His chariots is going to get to work too. Laser beams and judging this place. Okay? That's what the Yahweh Shemel Shai says is going to happen. All right? Lord going to judge this place and plead. Okay, goes into judge. Okay, verse 16 says, "For by fire and by His sword, the Lord plead with all flesh, and the sin of the Lord shall be many." Okay, so the same way, the Lord judged the earth with the flood, it's going to be the same way now. It's going to be a lot of death, man. 66.7% of Israelites are going to die by fire. Because it's only right that y'all die by fire. Y'all don't want to, y'all not going to see the Lord anyway. Okay, you're not gonna stop y'all words anyway. So Lord ultimately gonna have to burn y'all niggas to death. Y'all gonna come back in the kingdom and rest of the mind. Okay, and that's Lord being merciful. You're gonna have to get fucked up on this side, but Lord gonna still have mercy on you when you come in the kingdom. All right, but y'all just gonna have to get the hard part now. Okay, verse 13, Isaiah 13 and verse 19, and it says in Babylon. Okay, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. Okay, Babylon, which is referencing Babylon to America. Okay, Babylon is America due by its by its global influence. Okay, and its confusion. Okay, that's why the scriptures reference Babylon to America. Okay, it says the glory of kingdoms because America is the glory of kingdoms. All right, glory of the whole earth, everywhere. Everyone wants to come to America. To try to achieve the American dream. Okay, to try to start their business. To become successful. You're free here. You can do whatever you want here. Okay, to a certain degree, of course. But if you're coming from a country that's like a dictatorship, and you look at how America is, you're gonna think that's the best place ever. Okay, that's why the scripture reference space the glory of kingdom. Okay, because America is a nice place, man. Okay, never been touched before. Okay, nobody has ever invaded America. And caused this place to be invaded by war. All right. It says the beauty of the Chaldees excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, and what is that referencing, man? Okay, Lord judged the earth by fire too before going into Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, but now the Lord is referencing that due to the fire. Okay, all right, the Lord's going to judge this place by fire. Okay, because Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed by fire and brimstone. And and this time America is going to be destroyed by those nuclear missiles that the Lord has in these new nuclear silos that He's going to use and shoot at America. All right, but yeah, I can just further breaking down or making a difference between the first and the second death. Okay, the first death was the flood, which speaks about in Genesis. All right, and the second death is going to be by those ICBMs. Okay, by the destruction of America. All right, by fire. Okay, so hey, Akim, low one was edify. With that, I do want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elder of the great millstone. Peace and blessings to the Sir Akim. With that, I want to say shalom.